In this video, we will discuss about the second application of Gauss theorem, that is electric field due to uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. Let us first discuss about the direction of electric field lines. Here I took this is an infinite plane sheet which is extended all alongside all directions, and the positive charge is uniformly distributed over this sheet. The electric field lines is perpendicularly upward as shown in here, upward above the plane and perpendicularly downward below the plane. So the electric field lines for the plane sheet, if I see this one, this is a power plane sheet which is having a positive charge, then the electric field lines will be above perpendicularly upward and below perpendicularly downward, and below perpendicularly downward. Now let us discuss about the electric field. Now let us calculate the electric field due to infinite plane sheet. Now this plane sheet, I consider this is an infinitely plane sheet which is extended all around. I took one portion of that sheet and the charge is distributed uniformly, and the strength is represented by the surface charge density, that is sigma, surface charge density. Let P be the point here which is having a perpendicular distance of r, where we want to calculate the electric field. To calculate electric field at point P, and we want to apply Gauss theorem, and Gauss theorem is applied for closed surface, and the surface is chosen in such a way that is symmetrical to this sheet. So here also the symmetrical surface is a cylindrical surface. So I draw a cylindrical surface which is intersecting this surface, or which is cutting this surface like this one. So this is cutting this surface, having cross-sectional area S. This is also having a cross-sectional area S, and length equal to 2r, that is r upward and r downward. So this is our closed Gaussian surface. For this closed Gaussian surface, I have again three kind of surfaces. One is, this is your S1, this surface is your S2, and this is your third one surface, that is curved, this S3. If we draw the small surface element of each surface to apply Gauss theorem, let us write a Gauss theorem. So we know that according to Gauss theorem, total flux coming out of this cylindrical Gaussian, total flux coming out of this closed Gaussian surface that is cylindrical, that is E dot ds around a closed surface, the surface integral is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by it. Now to discuss it, let us first divide into two parts. This is your left hand side and this is our right hand side. So let us start with the left hand side, then we make it equal to the right hand side. According to the left hand side, the total flux coming out of this closed surface area can be divided into three parts. As this cylinder has three parts, that is S1, this is your S2, and this is your S3. So I divide this into three equal parts, that is S1 E dot ds So I divide this integral into three parts, that is E dot ds for S1 surface, E dot ds for S2 surface, E dot ds for S3 surface. Now let us find S1, what is E dot ds for S1, E dot ds for S2 and E dot ds for S3 surface. From here, from this diagram, for S1 surface, so this is our S1 surface, we know the electric field lines for this one is perpendicularly upward and perpendicularly downward. So see here, electric field is upward and surface area is also upward. Both are in same direction. So here angle is between E dot ds is 0 degree. So E dot ds is equal to E ds cos of theta becomes equal to E ds. Sim S2 surface, here also the angle will be equal to 0 degree. If you see, this is your S2 surface, this is this much. Here electric field lines is downward and surface area is also downward. So both are making an angle equal to 0. Then E dot ds for this case also is equal to E ds. Cos 0 is 1. Now for S3 surface. For S3 surface, as you see, for this curved surface, the surface area direction is along this direction and electric field at this point is downward along this direction. Then the angle between them is 90 degree. Here theta angle is 90 degree. Then the E dot ds becomes E ds cos of theta. Here cos 90 is 0. So for third surface, E dot ds is equal to 0. Then by using these three results, we get the total flux coming out of it, that is left hand side, it becomes E ds for S1, it also become E ds for S2, and for third surface E ds is equal to 0. Now this area and this surface area is equidistant from this sheet. So as S1 surface area and S2 is equidistant from the sheet, so E is uniform on S1 and S2. So as E is uniform from S1 and S2, then E is uniform taken outside integral, that is ds S1, E is uniform ds, E comes out of the integration sign. Further, what is the total surface area of this surface S1? So total surface area of S1 is, I chosen it is S, and for this surface area is also symmetrical, so it is also S. So then integral sign becomes, the phi is equal to ES plus ES, so it becomes 2ES. So this is your total flux coming out of this cylindrical Gaussian surface. Now the right hand side, so that is 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface. So right hand side, that is 1 by epsilon naught total charge enclosed by the surface. From here, if you see the figure, what is the total charge which is enclosed by this cylindrical surface? We know that this surface is cutting only this portion of the sheet. So whatever be the charge of this sheet will be the charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface. If this sheet has a surface area S, because it is symmetrical, so all the cross-sectional area will be equal. So if it is having a surface area S, then what is the charge on this surface? The charge on this surface will be Q equal to surface charge density per unit, that is charge per unit surface. So it is having a surface, so it becomes S, Q into sigma S. So then the right hand side becomes sigma S divided by epsilon naught. This is our second equation. From 1 and 2, 2Es, that is much, is equal to sigma S by epsilon naught. Here, after solving, we get E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So this is your electric field because of uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. From this diagram or from this formula, we understood that the electric field does not depend upon the electric field does not depend upon the distance. That is, if this is a plane sheet, infinitely plane sheet, and P is nearby at this point or P is very far away. In both the cases, the electric field will be same, uniform. So it is independent of distance. If I draw the graph, so graph for electric field and distance r, it will be uniform. That is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Thanking you.